Chapter 119, Soul Awakens. The spatial rifts in the foreign battleground occur due to the countless battle that happen here. If it wasn't for the fact that the cultivation union comes and stabilizes this place, it would have already collapsed. What is on other side of the spatial rifts is a sea of stars. That place is filled with energy and strange creatures. It isn't like no one that has entered the rifts have come out. However, those late-stage soul transformation cultivators teleported out almost as soon as they had entered, before the suction force reached its maximum strength. The scariest thing about the spatial rifts in the foreign battleground is the suction force. Even soul transformation cultivators have trouble with it. The suction is so powerful that it can even suck out spiritual energy, so don't even think about escaping. That's just one reason that they're dangerous. The other reason is that no one knows exactly where the spatial rifts connect to. They had only heard from some very powerful cultivators that the space is pitch black and that your divine sense is trapped inside your body once you get there. A point of light suddenly appeared in the spatial rift and floated within it. If one looked closely, they could see a soul fire glow faintly. Time slowly passed. After unknown amount of time, that point of light kept floating in space. That soul fire showed signs of dissipating. Time passed, and the light was still very faint. Only a faint ember remained of the soul fire. One day, a giant shadow suddenly floated toward the light. Upon closer inspection, that shadow was a large corpse. This body seemed to be the same as a giant demon clan member's body. However, if one looked closely at that body's forehead, there wasn't a hammer, but an axe. A black axe. If any giant demon clan members were here, they would instantly recognize that as a sign of their ancestral tribe. The moment the body touched the light, a sliver of smoke came out of the body. The smoke took the figure of a person and revealed a greedy look as it jumped at the light. This was a special type of creature that lived inside the foreign battleground. It devoured everything, whether it was bodies, magic treasures, or souls. It jumped toward the body, but it let out a scream and tried to escape. However, the light instantly absorbed the creature, leaving behind only the body. After absorbing that creature, the light became brighter, and the soul fire inside it became stronger. At that moment, Wang Lin woke up. To be more accurate, his soul woke up. When he woke up, he didn't have any consciousness, as he was only a ball of soul fire. A very cold feeling came from within his soul. There was a very large fire next to his soul. Although this fire released an evil aura, Wang Lin didn't hesitate to jump toward it. The light suddenly went into the giant's head and slowly settled inside. Wang Lin's soul could be considered to be surrounded by a demonic flame as the coldness went away and his soul gradually calmed down. Time slowly passed by again. This period of time was even longer than the one before. During this long period of time, the body Wang Lin was in slowly floated in the foreign battleground. It wasn't certain if it was because that body contained Wang Lin's soul, but more of those creatures appeared to try to devour Wang Lin. However, they were all devoured by him instead. His divine sense grew larger and his soul fire grew stronger. The stronger he became, more of these creatures emerged like crazy, wanting to devour him. Wang Lin didn't know that the body he was in was like a giant beacon in this dark world. Wang Lin didn't exactly know how much time had passed. Ever since he had awakened, he felt hungry and had devoured several of those creatures. He only knew that every time he devoured one, he could feel his mind become clearer. Finally, one day, Wang Lin remembered the moment of his birth, the 16 years with his parents, the days at the Hengyue sect. And he finally remembered Teng Hueyuan. A wave of sorrow came from his soul as he realized what had happened. At the last moment, Sidhu Nan risked himself to save him and had brought him into the foreign battleground. The moment it went into the spatial rift, the heaven-defying bead underwent a change. To be more accurate, it disappeared without a trace. But Wang Lin could clearly feel that the heaven-defying bead hadn't disappeared. It had mysteriously fused into Wang Lin's soul. It could be said that the heaven-defying bead had melted and fused with Wang Lin's soul. It was because of this that he was able to devour all of those mysterious and powerful creatures. Sidhu Nan didn't die, but entered a permanent state of slumber. The last thing he did before falling asleep was wrap Wang Lin's parents, souls with his nascent soul, to slumber with him. Wang Lin's parents were not cultivators, so they had no chance of being revived or possessing a body. Wang Lin just wanted to keep his parents around so they don't disappear. After he recovered all of his memories, he realized that his divine sense had become huge. The giant's body seemed to be unable to withstand it anymore and had started to break down. Helpless, Wang Lin left the giant's body. The coldness returned once more. He floated through the space, looking for the next body to pass. This process of traveling through the void to find a different corpse lasted for a long time. Likewise, the mysterious creatures kept coming to him to be devoured. His divine soul became even more powerful. Devouring these powerful creatures gradually became Wang Lin's habit. He stopped devouring them while defending himself, but he actively sought them out when he was. Or it could be said that Wang Lin had been here for too long enough for him to search through his own memories multiple times. He began to analyze everything that he had done. After he finished analyzing everything he had done, he realized that he had nothing left to do. That was when he suddenly remembered that formation book he had bought. He immediately recalled the contents of the book and began to study them. When he had completely mastered the basic formations in the book, he fell back into the state of having nothing to do. In these countless years, Wang Lin had seen many spatial rifts that led to the exit, but his divine sense had become far too large to leave through these small spatial rifts. But he found out that, as his divine sense grew larger, the spatial rifts would crack when he slammed into them. However, after one or two collisions, the spatial rift would automatically disappear. One or two collisions weren't enough to cause the spatial rift to collapse. That was because his divine sense wasn't powerful enough, so Wang Lin started to devour those creatures like crazy. He completely gave up on the idea of finding a body to possess. Instead, he quickly moved through the void. Every time he came across one of those mysterious creatures, he would quickly rush up and devour it. This life continued for a long time. Every time he saw a spatial rift, he would slam into it. He knew that he would be able to cause the spatial rift to collapse in 1 or 2 hits one day. But as time passed, Wang Lin found that the mysterious creatures in the void seemed to have disappeared. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't find another one. So he increased the scope of search. One day, Wang Lin felt a divine sense similar in size to his own. This was the first time that Wang Lin had found a divine soul as powerful as his. A fuzzy voice entered Wang Lin's soul. "You passed the trial," it said. Wang Lin was startled. He quickly used the same method to send out a message. "How can I leave here?" "Leave? Why would you want to leave? There is no way to leave." After the owner of the voice sent out that message, he slowly backed away and disappeared. Wang Lin pondered a little. He could hear some coldness in that soul's words. He realized that within this void, there were souls with divine senses as powerful or more powerful than his. They must each have their own territory. Once Wang Lin enters another's territory, it will be a battle to the death with them. After this unexpected encounter, Wang Lin went in other directions and found that there were 3 more souls with large divine senses like his. Through some exchanges, Wang Lin found out that, with this current strength, he was unable to break through the spatial rift in 1 or 2 hits. But Wang Lin's determination to return was strong. He came up with a crazy idea. He spread out his divine sense to cover his entire territory. The wider his divine sense spread, the stronger the disturbance it caused. Wang Lin carefully watched over the area his divine sense covered. To his right, a spatial rift suddenly appeared. Without any hesitation, Wang Lin sent a piece of his divine sense into the spatial rift. The moment the divine sense entered the spatial rift, he cut off that part of his divine sense. As the spatial rift disappeared, he lost contact with that piece of his divine sense. Wang Lin's expression didn't change as he waited for the next spatial rift to appear.